tripling out into the media that this could be a two just even for Ozzy stuff, and then it's like it all kicks up again as sort of the energy. So we'll see how that goes. But there's been some sort of strange adjunct Black Sabbath news. Also, we just got word that Jeff Nichols, who was a keyboard player and very close friends of Tony Iommi in Black Sabbath, passed away at 68 years of age. Jeff played on one of my favorite Sabbath albums, actually, 1980's Heaven and Hell.
Right.
Stuck with the band. From what I saw, to around 2004. I was also involved with Iommi's Headless Cross, which I thought was a fun album too. So I
believe, and I need to check this, but I believe he was on every Sabbath record, Heaven and Hell, up until 13. He wasn't on 13, but I believe he was on every single record, all those ones through the 80s. And he, I believe, toured too. I think he was on that final tour. When I say final, I mean back in '79 with Ozzy. So Ozzy knew him. Ozzy tweeted about the loss of Jeff today, and as well as many others. Glenn Hughes knew Jeff, Tony Iommi, obviously. Sure. Yeah, all those
Eric
guys.
Singer. And to answer your question, I actually posted about Jeff. So you ready for this? He did Heaven and Hell, Mob's Rule, Born Again, 7-Star, Eternal Idol, Headless Cross, Tear, Dehumanizer, Cross Purposes, Forbidden, Live at the Hammersmith Odeon, Live Evil, Cross Purposes Live, and Reunion. So he was not just
he did Reunion too. Okay, wow.
So he wasn't just a side dude. I mean, he's on.
Now, did you say Heaven and Hell? Did he do Heaven and Hell?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He was on Heaven and Hell, Mob's Rules. Yeah. So he played keyboards all the way through, and of course, on the Never Say Never, Never Say Never, Never Say Never Again,
Die.
Whatever. Never Say Die? Yeah, that's the one. As far as I know, he was the keyboardist on the tour as well. So
he was.
He really he spent 20-some years being in Sabbath. So he's as much a member as Tony Iommi was at that point, quite frankly.
Right. Well,
you said you listed the names of albums, and I don't know about that either. Am I the only one? I like the Eternal Idol album. Am I the only one in the world who liked that album? Or?
Honestly, I love Eternal Idol, and there's a deluxe edition that came out in 2010 with Ray Gillen singing and then the other which is great. And of course, Headless Cross. I love Headless Cross. I think the song Headless Cross is one of their best songs. If you give me a top 10, it's in there for me. So,
and I'm a huge Ray Gillen Badlands fan.
Yeah,
missed that dude's voice so much. So I thought that guy was one of the best guys in rock and roll as a singer. So. Badlands was a good one.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's sort of tied into this, because obviously there's a Ronnie James Dio connection to Black Sabbath, is coming up soon. The Dio hologram is coming back out. He's going to be performing at the Polestar Awards February 2nd. But I am getting this itching feeling here that they want to do something with this, with the Dio disciples. Like they want to sort of take this out. They don't want it to just be one song.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we interviewed Jeff Pizzuti, who is the man behind the hologram, recently on Talking Metal, and he basically, which a few websites picked up on it, but I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger story. Actually, he basically laid out what's going on. I mean, it's going to be Ripper Owens and Oni, what's his name? Oni Logan. Singing, and the Dio disciples, Craig Goldie and Simon Wright, and I don't know, whoever the bassist is, and they're going to be going out and doing Dio songs, and the hologram will appear for 7 of the songs.
Well, that's a lot. Okay,
yeah, 7 of the songs, and may do some duets with Ripper and Oni, and may sing some songs straight out. And there'll be the other thing that was broken in the interview was the hologram won't be consistent throughout the show, so you'll be getting a hologram from different eras of Ronnie's life, depending on what the song is, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's happening, and they're gonna, I think, do a more formal announcement. I was told late January, but here we are already. So I guess maybe February.
February. And
the best thing I heard is when I posted that. Mitch, you actually reposted the link to my interview with Jeff Pizzuti, and one of your Facebook friends said something like, "I wonder what the Dio hologram meet and greet package will be like," or something like that, which I just thought was hilarious.
That's just stand next to the screen. Yeah, it's like this weird.
And what's also amazing, yeah, it looks great. What's amazing too is that the hologram tour is going to be more live than the last Motley Crue tour, so that's kind of cool too.
Right.
There you go, yeah.
It might be more live than like Motley Crue, Kiss, and a whole bunch combined is what it might be. Now, with that said, one band that won't be playing that much to tape, I'm super excited. I'm buzzing about this. Tour was announced, Iron Maiden. So doing a whole bunch of dates. Ghost doing some opening dates too with that. Mark. Yeah,
I'm so totally psyched. I do think there will be some Ghost or Iron Maiden fans who may not really get Ghost, but I do think on the flip side there's going to be a great opportunity for them to get some exposure to the old school metal crowd. Because when I go see Ghost, honestly, there are some old school metalheads there, but I see more like hipsters and younglings, which I just love seeing the people like young kids at a metal concert. But I think this will be good exposure for them in front of Maiden's fan base, which is a tough fan base, honestly, because very. They're there
very
for
loyal
one
fan.
Yeah, they're there for one reason. That's Maiden.
Yeah.
But Mitch, better fit than Priest and Steel Panther, I'm guessing, from your side of the fence.
Listen, Steel Panther's a great band at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. They're not a serious band that deserves to be on stage with Judas Priest. I mean, that just made the whole thing very vaudeville, and it was disappointing. But yeah, Ghost with Iron Maiden is a better fit. It's Ghost is not my thing, but I respect what they do. I saw their show in Montreal recently, and it was a great performance. The crowd loved it. So, yeah, I think it'll bring in some new fans that have heard of Iron Maiden but have never gone. And I think some Iron Maiden fans will discover what all this hype is about. And like, oh, we read about them on, Ultimate Classic Rock. Now we get to see them live. So, okay, it works. It works for both.
Before we go to what we're listening to these days, let's just talk a little bit about what's going on in our world and what we've been working on. So, Mark, let's start with you. What's happening over at Talking Metal?
We're forging ahead. We're just doing our thing, interviewing people that we want to talk to, which is something I always feel so fortunate that I get to talk with people. 600 and whatever we're at, 50 episodes in, I'm still talking with people that I've been fans of since I was a teenager, sometimes for the first time, including recently John Bush, who I had interviewed him but never on the podcast, so we had him on Talking Metal for the first time, and just a delightful guy and lots of great stories, and seemed it's always great when you do an interview and the people seem like they're actually enjoying talking to you, which is the vibe I got from John Bush. And on the same episode we had John Garcia, from former vocalist of Caius, somebody I've never spoken with, and it was great talking with him too. He has just a great new acoustic record out, which I'll mention later, maybe when we're talking about what we're listening to.
Well, what do you got happening over at One on One, Mitch?
Well, same old. Just a lot of great interviews. Like Mark, I get to interview folks that I just want to talk to, and my thing these days has been Thunder and Gothard and all those bands, and I've done interviews with both of them. So, I interviewed Simon Kirk of Bad Company. We did 45 minutes. We talked about his involvement in 9/11 and all this and all that. And I'm going to talk to him again this week because they called back and said, you know what? He loved it so much. Would you mind doing a part 2? And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. So, just keep plugging away.
That's great. On
bringing
Thursday,
the music to the folks.
Yeah, on Thursday for me on my bass podcast, No Trouble. It's called Groove, No Trouble Podcast. I've got Nathan East, who, if you're in the more mainstream music, you'll probably know is playing, because he played for many years with Eric Clapton and Phil Collins. On the rock side, though, he's done a lot of stuff with Toto and Joe Satriani, and he played on the big Daft Punk hit, so that's another big thing. But really cool, legendary bass player. So that's what's going on in my world. Now let's shift over to what we are listening to. I'm going to flip it to you, Mitch. What is buzzing up your ears these days?
Well, actually, 2 unreleased albums for right now. I was sent the Black Star Riders Heavy Fire album. It is the best of the three. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. From start to finish, there is not a clunker on it. There is not a minute for you to catch your breath. It is just, well, it's breathtaking, quite frankly. And then the other one is the new Thunder album, Rip It Up, coming out in February, actually. And same thing. I think it is a vast improvement over the last couple of ones. And I absolutely adored the last couple of ones. And yet here we are. And it's a better album than probably anything they've done in the 2000s. So Thunder, Rip It Up, and Black Star Riders, Heavy Fire. If you haven't heard of these bands, you must go buy these albums. Now, they're both going to be available in February, so you'll have to wait, but write it down.
In the meantime, you could listen to like Backstreet Symphony by Thunder, which is a great album. So
produced by Duran Duran's Andy Taylor, so you can't go wrong right there. You know,
you got it. Mark, what have you been listening to?
Like I mentioned, the new John Garcia record, which is an acoustic record, The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues. John was, of course, a part of the Mighty Caius, one of the original kind of stoner desert bands, that kind of spawned off into Queens of the Stone Age without John, of course. But yeah, he does some acoustic versions of the Caius songs on this record, which when I heard, I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. But once I heard the songs, I was like, wow, complete rearrangements. I mean, this record, it reminds me, I put it up there with the Alice in Chains Sap record when it comes to acoustic records. Really good stuff. Great stuff. And half original new stuff, half old Caius covers, all acoustic. The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues, not for everybody. If you're looking for the stoner metal, stoner rock, fuzzed out guitars, you're not going to get that. But if you're looking for just some heavy, emotional, haunting acoustic stuff, this is going to be the record for you. Also, not a masterpiece by any sense of the word, but a very good record. And for some reason, I'm just loving it. And it just came out, and I've been playing it all weekend. The new Stephen Pearcy record, Smash. Just some really fun songs on there. And I'm really definitely enjoying that record too.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great one.
I have it saved. I have not listened. The three that popped up in Apple Music that I've been sort of cycling through, I've got a trio. One is the Sepultura Machine Messiah, I think is the name of it. Been enjoying it. I'm not, all three of them I'm not going to say are sort of like massive albums for each band, but just sort of, I don't know, there's something about a band like Sepultura where I feel like the gap between albums makes me enjoy the music, even if it's not, back to Chaos AD or anything like that. Next one, similar, Helmet. I was always a huge Helmet fan. I think I've talked about Dead to the World before. It sort of just cycled back in, and I added it in and been listening to that a lot. And the third, I haven't spent a lot of time with, but I'm always a fan of whatever Jeff Waters does, the new Annihilator, which is called Triple Threat. So mine's a bit heavier this time around. I don't know why. I just sort of into those three bands, really enjoying them. Guys, thanks so much for your time. Why don't you let people know where they can best connect to the shows and to you guys? Mark, where can people find you?
Yeah, talkingmetal.com is where I'm at, and we got Mitch's show there. Of course, this show, Metal Raps, and a lot of updates and stuff going on. We're adding a news section, which should go live hopefully by the time you're hearing this. So definitely, if you haven't been to the site for a while, go check it out there. And of course, there's Amazon links that you can use to support what we do here. They help cover the cost. When you use those links, we get a little cutback on your purchase, a very little cutback, but everything helps. So yeah, definitely visit talkingmetal.com. The other thing I'd like to encourage all listeners to do is, for this podcast, Metal Raps, go to iTunes, search Metal Raps, leave us a 5-star rating, please, and a good review. You can keep those bad reviews to yourself, but if you like what we're doing here, definitely go there and write us a good review and 5-star rating. We'd appreciate that.
How kind of you, Mitch.
Yes, and could they do that for the one-on-one with Mitch Lafon?
Sure,
to leave a 5-star?
Just for all of our stuff. 5 stars for all of us. Come on, we're
five for all. Yeah, let's get us moving up in the ratings or their algorithms or however it works. Yeah, exactly. Twitter, of course, at Mitch Lafon, and I think if you go there, you sort of can link to where, because I'm always posting stuff. And of course, talkingmetal.com. I think that's where the real metal lives. So head over there, folks.
And I have a schizophrenic life. If you want to figure out what's going on in your business and brands and marketing and technology, you can just Google Mitch Joel